Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a rather interesting one. This is the BMW 330e. Now, the 330e sits in the lineup as the plug-in hybrid variant of the 3 Series lineup, which undergone a little bit of a facelift. I think it was last year actually. If you want to see more on the actual facelift of this car, please use the link in the top of the screen to check out some of our other videos. But I just wanted to have a look at this because I think it's a fabulous proposition for both personal and for business purchase. So let's start by just going over some of the highlights of this car. We have a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine up front. Then we've got a 10.5 kilowatt-hour battery in the back. Combined, we've got just under 300 horsepower and just over 400 newton meters of torque. 0 to 62 miles an hour is dealt with in just under 6 seconds. And we've got a claimed range of up to 36 miles on the WLTP cycle. Now, let's just quickly remind ourselves about some of the exterior design cues on this car. I think it's very classic BMW. It doesn't inherit the newer design language with the big vertical grills. We've just got these really quite subtle horizontal ones. They are gloss black on this car because this has the M Sport Pro package, which gives you obviously the black. It also gives you the larger alloy wheels, the red brake calipers, and a few more bits. But I personally think that the 3 Series is just a very subtly good looking car. It doesn't scream in your face like the M3 or the M2. I just think it's subtle, classy, and just really high quality and premium. This spec is fantastic with the Brooklyn grey paintwork against the black alloy wheels. It's just a lovely thing to look at. It had a slight facelift, so a slightly different front end with a slightly different front bumper, slightly different rear bumper, but the real differences came on the interior. So before we go and take this thing for a drive, let's just take a look in there. As you'd expect, the interior is of an incredible quality. The layout and so on is very similar actually to the previous generation 3 Series, but there are a few key differences. Chief among which is the enormous large curved touchscreen directly in front of you. Now this can run wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay, but the standard system in here is also absolutely fantastic. It can be used via touchscreen on here, or we've still got the iDrive controller down in the center. A few other changes include a slightly different gear selector. It's now no longer a stick, it's now almost this little toggle down here. Other than that, there aren't really too many changes. And I think that's a really good thing because I personally think that the 3 Series is absolutely the very top of the premium executive saloon market. I think it's a brilliant place to sit, a fantastic place to spend lots of time. The overall build, fit and finish, everything is put together so incredibly well. All the air conditioning controls are no longer here. They're now in the system, but they are super easy to get used to. Incredibly easy once you start to get to know them. But other than that, it's very recognizable BMW 3 Series. And on that, I want to go and take this thing for a drive and see how being a hybrid has affected the driving experience. So welcome to the driver's seat of the BMW 330e. Now, I'll say straight away that I drive a 320i as my everyday car. That's just what I use. So for me, I was very intrigued to jump into the 330e and see if it felt that much different. Obviously, we've got a little bit more weight thanks to that 10.5 kilowatt-hour battery. And well, how does it really compare for a traditional purely internal combustion engine to this hybrid? Well, straight away, it doesn't really feel any different. The big difference, obviously, when you first jump in, turn it on, starts in battery mode. And you get just this beautiful silence to the way that it moves around. It is just, I don't know, there's just a really lovely thing about setting off and moving around in pure electric mode. And on that, we've got around 36 miles of electric charge on the WLTP cycle. We have just under 300 horsepower, just over 400 newton meters of torque, and a 0 to 62 mile an hour sprint time of just under 6 seconds. So straight away, it's much quicker than my 320i. But how does that translate to the driving experience? Well, firstly, it is just as comfortable and just as premium in here as a 320i. Realistically, you can't really tell the difference between the fully internal combustion engine car and this. But there is just this really nice relationship between the batteries and the internal combustion engine. You don't really notice it swapping between the two. Every now and again you're like, what's it doing? Is it in battery or is it in petrol? And you have to look at the dashboard and then it tells you obviously which mode it's in. You've got several different driving modes. So you've got sport, hybrid and electric. Sport obviously is everything all at once, and which let's just do really quickly. Drop it in. Yep. It's certainly shift and it's got a really nice noise to it. And I think the noise actually is through the speakers, but what car isn't now? And yeah, it's got a really strong acceleration curve to it. It really does pick up its toes and take off. Hybrid is where the system will just determine what to do at all times. It'll choose whether to use the battery or whether to use the internal combustion engine to best suit what's the most efficient way of doing it. Of course, electric kind of speaks for itself. That's just pure electric mode. Then we've got a few different battery states. We've got battery hold, we've got hybrid, and so on. But really, all that translates. I mean, it sounds like a really complicated thing to run and move around in, but no, it's just simple. It's really easy to drive. It doesn't really make too much of a difference. I would just leave all of that, to be honest, in hybrid mode, let the car sort itself out, because it's incredibly intelligent. It just knows what the best mode is to be in at any given point. It knows what it needs to do in terms of the battery charge and the internal combustion engine. Of course, it has got self-charging capabilities. This thing has got regenerative brakes up to a point. It doesn't have the super regen brakes that you get in a pure electric car, but it doesn't really need those. This thing is a fantastic car to drive on a daily basis. It's quiet, it's premium, it's built beautifully in here. As I've already mentioned, the interior is fantastic. It's a great thing to drive, and with the added benefit of it being incredibly low in company car tax. It fits into the 12% bracket of benefit in kind, which means that you'll be paying so much less for this than you would the purely internal combustion engine car. And from where I'm sat, I don't think you're going to be shortchanged by having the hybrid over the pure internal combustion. I think it's a great choice. And this one has the X-Drive system as well. So it's a 4-wheel drive hybrid, which gives you even more capabilities. For me personally, I'd have a 330e Touring, because I love my Tourings. But to sum up then, this is a brilliant car, whether you're purchasing it as a... So to sum up then, this I think is a fantastic all-round bit of kit. Every bit as good as an internal combustion engine variant of the 3 Series, if not a little bit better. Whether you're buying this as a personal purchase or through a business, I think it's a fabulous choice. And if you want any more information on the BMW 330e, please use the link in the description of this video to contact your nearest Sytner BMW retailer. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel for plenty more content to come, and I will see you guys again really soon.